Hi everyone, thank you for attending this session and I'm excited to guide you through a comprehensive exploration of advanced Adobe Analytics interview questions. In today's competitive job market, having a strong grasp of the latest and most advanced features of Adobe Analytics can set you apart. Whether you are preparing for an interview or looking to deepen your expertise, this session is designed to provide you with the valuable insights and practical knowledge. So what we'll do, we'll start by delving into the core aspects of Adobe Analytics, covering foundational concepts to ensure everyone is on the same page. And from there, we will dive into the more complex topics, including advanced segmentation, attribution models, latest updates in Adobe Analytics suite. We will also touch on integration techniques and best practices. And please expect a blend of theoretical knowledge as well as practical one. And I will walk you through real world scenarios, common questions, and you might encounter in an interview. And my goal is not only to prepare you for the potential questions, but also to give you the confidence to tackle. I mean, if there are some different type of questions. So without further delay, let's dive into the world of Adobe Analytics. So let's start with the very basics, which is what is analytics? What does that mean? So analytics refers to the systematic process of collecting, processing, and analyzing data to gain insight and make informed decision. Now this data is something which is coming from your website or portal or your application, web application. So that data can be user specific data, user interaction on your website portal, what user is looking for, what is user's behavior. So that data, it involves examining data sets to uncover patterns, trends, and relationships that can help individuals or organizations understand their performance, optimize operations, and forecast future outcomes. So analytics data, we will collect data using analytics, and then whatever data we will receive from the analytics, using that data we will take some with that outcome, basically business will take some action to improve their web portal performance. Now imagine you run an e-commerce website and want to understand how visitors are interacting with your website. By using analytics tool, you can track various metrics such as the number of visitors which are coming to your website, the pages they are viewing, how long they are staying on each pages, right? For instance, you might discover that a significant number of visitors are dropping off at the checkout page. Means they are coming to the checkout page, but after that they are not finally doing the payment. This insight would prompt you to investigate further and perhaps identify issues with the checkout process. I mean, why users are not doing the final payment, leading to improvements that could boost your conversion rates and overall sales. And now we have basic idea of what is analytics. So let's go deeper to Adobe Analytics. So Adobe Analytics is a comprehensive web analytics tool provided by Adobe that helps businesses collect, analyze, and visualize data from their digital channels. Now digital channels are websites. It allows users to track website and app performance, user behavior, and marketing campaign effectiveness. So basically analytics is integrated with your website, and the data we are collecting from the website and then analyzing this data. So basically it helps to check what is the behavior of the users on the website. Is there a way we can improve the user experience on which user is dropping off, is not continuing, right? Maybe there are some issues on that particular page, correct? It provides insights into user interactions, engagement metrics, and conversion rates, helping organizations make data-driven decisions to optimize their digital strategies. So basically getting data, I mean, set up and then collecting data from analytics is one part, but taking action on those analytics report, the outcome of the analytics is where we improve our website, so that we can see what is lagging behind in our web portal and how we can improve it. Now there are various products available for analytics. Uh, Famous are Adobe Analytics and Google Analytics, and this question might come that how does Adobe Analytics differ from Google Analytics, especially if interview has mentioned that he or she has also worked on Google Analytics, right? So how does Adobe Analytics differ from Google Analytics? Adobe Analytics and Google Analytics are both powerful analytics tools, but they have distinct differences. Adobe Analytics offers more advanced customization options, including custom metrics, segments, and reports, whereas Google Analytics provides more standardized reporting. Adobe Analytics allows for deeper, more complex segmentation and detailed analysis, whereas Google Analytics has more basic segmentation capabilities. So it means, Adobe Analytics so far having better segmentation technologies, better, basically better, is having upper hand on the Google Analytics. Adobe Analytics integrates seamlessly with other Adobe Experience Cloud products, of course, because this is also Adobe product. Of course, it will have integration with Adobe Experience Cloud products, providing a unified suite of marketing tools. Google Analytics, while integrated with Google's ecosystem, does not offer the same breadth of integration with non-Google tools. Of course, inter-product connectivity will be better, whether it's Adobe or Google. Adobe Analytics often handles large data volumes better, and provide more flexibility in data collection and reporting compared to Google Analytics. So maybe just key points we could remember for interview purpose, if by any chance this type of question comes in while interview. Okay, next question is, what is the role of Adobe Experience Cloud in Adobe Analytics? So the answer is, the Adobe Experience Cloud is a suite of digital marketing and analytics tools designed to help businesses deliver personalized customer experiences. Adobe Analytics is part of this suite, and its role is to provide deep insights into customer behavior and marketing performance. Integration with other Experience Cloud tools like Adobe Target, Adobe Campaign allows for a more comprehensive view of customers' interaction, enabling businesses to create more effective and personalized marketing strategies. I have just opened this URL, Adobe Experience Cloud, and we can see in the product section there are various products, marketing as well as analytics products available in the Adobe Experience Cloud. So for example, Experience Manager Site, Experience Manager Asset, Real-Time CDP, etc. Analytics is one of them, Marketo. So we know, these products are available from Adobe as part of Adobe Experience Cloud. So the next question is, what are the different stages of analytics? And this is also a common question which is applicable for any type of analytics. Typically involve several stages, from data collection to till we take some action on the insights. So we collect the data from our web portal, our digital platform, and then we analyze that data, and then on basis of that data, business takes some action, basically the improvement areas, so that our website will perform better. What are those steps? Those stages: data collection. We gather raw data from various sources to understand user behavior and site performance. And sources will be of this data collection: website tracking, mobile apps, social media, CRM systems, etc. And what are the methods? Tracking codes, APIs, set up event tracking, and integrate with third-party tools. Next phase is data integration. Combine data from different sources to create a unified view. and processes data aggregation, merging data sets, ensuring consistency across different data sources, etc. And we will use tools like data management platforms, the ETL tools, and warehouses. Then another stage is data cleaning. So we get the data and we need to make sure that it is clean, accurate, and complete, free from errors, free from duplicate, right? We process this data, we remove the duplicates, we handle missing values, and we correct the inconsistencies. After that, we generate the insights, derive actionable insights from the analyzed data. We identify trends, patterns, correlations, and anomalies. And we understand user behavior, performance metrics, and key factor affecting the outcomes. Okay, then another stage is data visualization. So we present the data in visual format to make it easier to interpret. Formats would be, we'll create dashboards, chart, graphs, so business user, non-technical people can understand looking at the report, etc. Right? The tools we use is data visualization software, built-in tools, and analytics platform, etc. And then we analyze this data. So we extract insight and pattern from cleaned data. We summarized past data to understand what happened. So for example, we got this data which are page views, average session duration, etc. And various tools we have. So for example, one of them is Adobe Analytics, right? Google Analytics, and there are others as well. So finally, we got this data, right? We analyze that data, and after that, business, they make the decision on top of that data. So use the insights to make informed decisions, assess various strategies or actions based on the insights. So for example, business goals, resource availability, potential impact. So basically decision making steps. And action implementation is one of the stage. So we execute actions based on the decisions made, adjust marketing strategies, optimize website design, implement new features. So for example, we see that on checkout page, people are just leaving. So what is the issue? First, we need to find out that issue. This is just one of the example, and maybe website, there is a need to optimize the website on that page, right? So those type of action we need to implement. Continuously monitor the impact of those actions on the metrics and KPIs. So of course, I mean, after the implementation, we need to continuously monitor what is the impact of those new changes. And which brings another stage, which is monitoring, performance monitoring. So track the effectiveness of the implemented actions and strategies. So for example, there is a change implemented on your website. Again, you need to analyze that metrics, the data, right? Review performance against KPIs and benchmarks. Assess whether goals are being met or not. And tools are dashboard, regular reports, real-time analytics, etc. And finally, we get the feedback. And loop means we again do the same thing for maybe for next one also we are getting some outcome, right? So we need to loop in all those again. So refine strategies and actions based on performance data and insights, reassess data, analyze new trends, and make iterative improvements. Continuously enhance processes, strategies, and actions to better achieve business objectives. So it's not like one time activity that we will follow all those stages and then it's done. No, it's an iterative process. So we follow a cycle, we improve our digital platform, we again circle it back from one, and we see what issues or improvement areas we can still think of, and we take actions on them, and so on. So it's a continuous process. Now this keyword is very common and we hear it again and again. So I thought I will have this also as a question, and we will see several questions like this so that we will have a better understanding of very basics. So what is KPI? KPI stands for Key Performance Indicator. KPIs are measurable values that help organizations track and evaluate the success of their activities in achieving key business objectives. They are used to gauge performance, assess progress, and make informed decisions based on data. What are the characteristics of KPIs? KPI should be clearly defined and aligned with specific business goals or objectives. Measurable KPIs need to be quantifiable so that progress can be tracked and assessed. Achievable KPI should be realistic and attainable given the available resource and constraints. Relevant KPI should be directly related to the goals and objectives they are intended to measure. Time bound KPI should be measured with a specific time frame to track progress over time. So no need to memorize all these keywords. It's just after reading this you will have at least some understanding that what does that mean, what are KPIs, how business creates KPIs, and how using those KPIs we do analysis or we implement analytics for a particular digital platform. Now this one is, can we have some examples of KPIs? So for example, sales KPIs, revenue is one KPI. So total income generated from sales. Okay, sales growth rate, that is another KPI. The percentage increase in sales over a specific period. Conversion rate, that is another sales KPI. The percentage of leads or prospects that convert into paying customer. So these are sales KPIs. Likewise, we can have marketing KPIs. So cost per acquisition, we call it as CPA, the cost associated with acquiring a new customer. Or ROI, this term is used very frequently, return on investment, the return generated from marketing investments compared to their cost. CTR, click-through rate, the percentage of users who click on a link or ad compared to the total number of users who view it. So what usually happens, I mean, people come to your website, there is a link, there is some CTA, etc. But how many users actually clicked on that CTA to navigate to the next step? Basically, that is called CTR. That is marketing KPI. And there can be multiple KPIs. It's just I'm trying to provide some relevant examples so that it makes more sense. Customer service KPIs. Customer satisfaction score, a measure of how satisfied customers are with your service or product. Net promoter score, NPS, gauges customer loyalty by asking how likely customers are to recommend your product or services to others. Sometimes we have surveys also for this. You will have after you just completed your net banking, you will get a survey pop-up, or you just purchased a new product, you will get a survey pop-up, etc. Financial KPIs, gross profit margin, right, and operating margin. Now we know the answer of this question also, rarely asked, but still it makes sense if I thought I should put this question also. What are the importance of KPIs? Performance measurement. KPIs provide a clear understanding of how well business activities are performing. I mean, that is a benchmark that only it can be measured. Goal setting helps in setting and aligning goals and objectives across different levels of an organization. Decision making, data driven insights from KPIs support informed decision making and strategy adjustments. Motivation and accountability, clear KPIs can motivate employees and hold teams accountable for their performance. So what is the summary? KPIs are essential tool for monitoring progress, right? Decision making, for any decision, strategic decision in an organization, it is a guidance tool, we can say. I have designed these questionnaires like from very basics, and then we will move on to the advanced topics. So in analytics, we will hear this term will be used, conversion. What is conversion? Conversion refers to the successful completion of a desired action by a visitor on your website or digital property. This action is typically a KPI that aligns with your business goals. So KPI we just completed. What is KPI? So conversion is basically it aligns with one of the KPI. Okay, next question is, what are the conversion metrics? These are specific metrics that indicate whether a user has completed a desired action or not. Common conversion metrics include, and these are just the examples: revenue, total sales or revenue generated, orders, number of purchases made, leads, number of potential customers who have expressed interest or provided contact information, signups, number of users who have registered for an account or newsletter, right? So these are called conversion metrics. What is conversion rate? This is a key performance indicator KPI that measures the percentage of visitors who completed desired action out of the total number of visitors. So conversion we just know, I mean it is just aligned to your KPI. Conversion rate is who completed desired action out of total number of visitors, kind of average. For example, if 1000 people visit your site and 50 make a purchase, your conversion rate would be 5%, right? Or let's make it 100. For example, if 100 people visit your site and 5 make a purchase, so your conversion rate would be 5%. Now we know what is conversion and conversion rate. So the next question is, what is the significance of conversion rate in Adobe Analytics or in any analytics to be true? Conversion rate measures the percentage of users who completed desired action, that we know, such as making a purchase or signing up for a newsletter, right? This is a conversion rate. It is calculated by dividing the number of conversions by the total number of visitors, right? This metric is crucial for assessing the effectiveness of marketing strategies and optimizing conversion paths. So the answer of this question lies in the third statement, which says it is crucial for assessing the effectiveness of marketing strategies. So we see if the conversion rate is low, then what we can do better to optimize it, right? So those type of actions, decisions we make after we check the conversion rate. So that is what is the significance or importance of conversion rate. Now another key term is what is conversion funnel in Adobe Analytics, and there are videos also around on different media for conversion funnel related to various type of analytics platform. A conversion funnel is a model used to represent the journey that users take from their initial interaction, means the first time they are coming to your portal with a brand or product, to the point of completing a desired action or conversion. So this is like the first time I visited the portal until I purchase or do that some action which is for which that website or digital platform is made. The funnel metaphor illustrates the gradual narrowing of users through various stages from initial awareness to final conversion. Adobe Analytics can track the steps users take before converting, helping you understand where users drop off and how to optimize the user journey. This involves mapping out of the process from initial visit to final conversion and analyzing each stage to identify opportunities for improvement. So let's understand conversion funnel in pictorial representation. So that's why it's called funnel, because what is happening, users are narrowing down. So there are different stages. Awareness, when for example there is a new website launch, people just started looking for your website, so many people are coming to check the website how it is. So awareness, that is awareness phase, so where we have lots of traffic coming in, and out of those people, people will show some interest, right? Based on like there is a competition around, so they will see what extra features, services you are providing, interest, and then they will start considering your services, right? And finally they will start adding the product services, so they will show that intent, and finally they will place that, start using your service, the conversion has happened, right? So and after that, retention stage, which is like those users you want to retain so that they visit the website portal again and again, right? So these are the stages. So those stages only, what are the stages? Let's read one by one. First one was awareness, the stage where users become aware of your brand, product or service, and this is often the top of the funnel. Examples: seeing an ad, discovering your website through a search engine, or encountering your brand on social media. Second stage is interest. Users show interest in your product or service after the initial awareness. They begin to explore and learn more about what you offer. Examples include visiting your website, browsing product pages, signing up for a newsletter. A consideration stage, users evaluate your product or service against competitors and consider whether it meets their needs. Examples include adding items to the cart, comparing prices or features, or reading customer reviews. Next stage is intent. Users show a clear intention to purchase or take the desired action. This stage often involves final decision making processes. Examples include initiating the checkout process, requesting a quote, or starting a free trial. Conversion stage, the final stage where users complete the desired action, such as making a purchase, signing up, or downloading a resource. Examples include completing a purchase, subscribing to a service, or filling out a contact form. And retention, post conversion phase, focused on retaining and engaging users to encourage repeat interactions and loyalty. Examples include follow up emails, loyalty programs, or personalized offers. The next question is, what is conversion event in Adobe Analytics? So these are specific events or actions that are tracked as conversions, such as completing a form, making a purchase, or downloading a white paper. You can set up custom events in Adobe Analytics to track these conversions. What is segmentation? Segmentation allows you to break down your data into more manageable and meaningful groups to gain deeper insight into user behavior and performance. You can use segmentation to analyze conversions based on different user groups, such as new returning visitors, or by traffic source, to get deeper insight into what drives conversions. Now let's see a few of the examples of segmentation, because this is one of the crucial topic in analytics. So new returning visitors. New visitors, users who visit your site for the first time. Returning visitors, users who come back after a previous visit. And it helps in understanding the differences in engagement and conversion between these two groups. And I will give you an example. So for example, there is a website launch and you provide some service through that website, and you notice that when the segment new user visitors one is performing well, we are having good conversion rate. But when we see the returning visitor conversion, then it's falling back, it's falling down. So what we need to check is, what is the issue, why returning users are not being retained on the website. Maybe the offers are not going well, or maybe the user experience is not good, so that bind users to the portal for returning, right? So, or maybe the previous service what has been given, that service feedback was not good, right? So maybe something is lagging behind, so that we should check, right? So next type is traffic source, organic search. Segment users coming from search engine like Google. So I'm just searching something on Google and I got this URL and I am landing on the website. Paid search, focus on visitors arriving from PPC, paid per click campaigns, some sponsored advertisements, etc. Advertisers pay for that campaign. Social media, analyze traffic from platforms like Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Direct to traffic, users coming directly to your site by typing the URL, or maybe it was bookmarked earlier, like that. And it identifies which channel are most effective at driving traffic as well as conversion, and which are not. So for example, I see through organic search it is doing well, but maybe through social media the traffic is not coming. So marketing team, they can decide, okay, how can they promote their content on social media, right? So they can take that decision. Another example is geographic location, region. Segment users based on their geographic location, such as country, state, or city. It helps in tailoring content and marketing strategies for different geographic region. Device type, desktop, mobile, tablet, analyze behavior and performance for users accessing your site via desktop, via mobile or tablet, and it optimizes user experience by understanding how different devices impact behavior. So for example, when you see the on desktop it is performing well, but when we see it's mobile on tablets, that response is not that much good. So maybe to check that why it is not good, maybe some user experience is not appealing or it's not good. Give you an example. So this responsiveness feature is there in website. What it does is when you create your website, and when we open it on different channel, for example on desktop or on mobile or tablet, the user experience, the website is responsive in nature. It adjusts the viewport, and that is how the look and feel looks amazing. And because of some issue, maybe your website is not performing, is not responsive on mobile, and that is the reason the conversion rate is low on mobile. That traffic is coming from mobile device, right? So with this segment we can check the report, we can analyze it and see, okay, what is the issue, and then we can fix it, we can take the action. User behavior, high engagement type of users who view many page or spend a lot of time on your site. Low engagement users who have minimal interactions or shorter sessions. It helps in identifying and addressing the needs of different engagement levels. Frequent buyers, users who make multiple purchases within a certain time frame. A one-time buyer who make only a single purchase. Cart users who add items to the cart but do not complete the transaction, and maybe we should check why they are not completing the transaction, because maybe they found something better in another web, on another portal or another service provider. So can we send an offer to those users, since they have abandoned the cart, to get their attention back to our portal. So such type of actions we can take. Next question is, what is traffic? We talk about it like website traffic is coming or not coming, etc. Right? This keyword traffic. So traffic refers to the measurement and analysis of the volume of visitors and their interactions with your website or digital properties. Traffic metrics help you understand how many people are visiting your website, where they are coming from, and how they engage with your content. So basically, to understand traffic means the end users who are accessing your website, those people strength is called traffic. Okay, explain a few traffic metrics. So there are these are the ones. Few there can be more. So visits, sessions, the number of individual sessions or visits to your site. A visit starts when a user arrives and ends when they leave or are inactive for a certain period. So for example, there is a session management on your website. So user is trying to log in, user logged in and but have not done anything. The session timeout is session time is over, it's timed out. So that inactive, now it's inactive. So that time duration is visit. Unique visitors, the number of distinct individuals who visit your site during a specific time period. This metric counts each visitor only once, regardless of how many times they visit. They are called unique visitors. Page views, the total number of pages viewed on your site. Multiple views of a single page by the same visitor are counted separately. Then entries, yeah, it makes sense. The number of times a user enters your site through a specific page. This can help identify which pages are the most common entry points. So for example, I see most of the pages from where we are landing on is home page, or maybe a offer page or a campaign page which you just made live, right? So lots of users are coming via that page. So I mean, those are the deciding factor. Exit rate, the number of times a user leaves your site from a specific page. This can indicate which pages are common exit points. So for example, logout page can also be a exit page. Next question is, what are common traffic sources from where this traffic, the people are coming to your website? So reference website or sources that send traffic to your site. This can include search engine. So I just search for buy a smartphone, and I'm getting uh, maybe Samsung, right? So Google is referring Samsung's website. So that is one thing. Social media platform or other external sites, those are referrals. Traffic source is referral. Campaigns, traffic coming from specific marketing campaign or advertising effort, often tracked via UTM parameters. Let's read what is UTM, or Adobe's campaign tracking tools. So we have a campaign going on which is live. Maybe it will be live for 1 week. So traffic, of course, traffic is coming from that campaign, right? Direct traffic, visits where the user types your URL directly into their browser or has bookmarked your site. So all those things, right? The traffic we are calculating, we are analyzing from where the users are coming to our portal. Now it will help in increasing those KPIs, meeting those KPIs, because eventually, so for example, we launched a campaign and we see that this campaign has performed very well. 90% of the user traffic was coming from this campaign. So we will schedule such type of campaigns again and again, so that the users will come to our website. Now we just read UTM. What does UTM stands for? UTM stands for tracking module. UTM parameters are tags added to URL to help track the performance of campaign and sources of a web traffic. They allow you to monitor where your traffic is coming from and how different marketing efforts are performing. So it's basically for tracking. So let's read more about UTM parameters. Can you explain UTM parameters? That can be a question. UTM parameters typically include, these are the parameters: UTM source, and we will have these parameters in the URL. So for example, I have a running campaign which says, hey, there is an offer, sale is going on my on our website. You got this email in your inbox, and you click on that CTA button, and when you click on that, this tracking URL, this UTM will be appended to the URL, and that is how it will be tracked, that from where it is coming, what is the medium, etc. So UTM source identifies the source of the traffic, for example, Google, Facebook, newsletter, etc. UTM medium describes the medium or channel used, for example, email, CPC, social. UTM campaign names the specific campaign or promotion. So for example, I have named my campaign as summer sale product launch. So that will come as part of one of the query parameter, and that is how I can identify that this is for that campaign. This traffic is for that campaign. Yeah. UTM term tracks specific keywords used in a paid search campaign, often used for PPC, paid per click. UTM content differentiates between similar content or links within the same ad or campaign, for example, banner ad, text link, etc. Now these parameters help you analyze the effectiveness of your marketing effort in analytics tools like Adobe Analytics or Google Analytics. So these are common terminologies used for any type of analytics. So of course it will be applicable for Adobe Analytics too. Now let's see this example. So our website is www.example.com, and there are different UTM parameters we can see, and these are the query parameters. So it is passed as a query parameter. Query parameter is when within the website URL we have question mark and then the key and respective value, and for additional query parameter we can use ampersand. So UTM source is equal to Facebook. So the source is Facebook. It is, this link is triggered from Facebook. UTM medium is social. It's because of social channel. UTM campaign is summer sale. So this is a summer sale type of campaign which we have run on on Facebook or maybe other social media also. And UTM content is, it's an ad banner. So that is what I just explained here, that the source is Facebook, indicates that the traffic is coming from Facebook, etc. And by using this URL in your Facebook ad, you can track and analyze how much traffic and conversion are generated specifically from this ad campaign in your analytics tool. So this is so much powerful. You will run the campaign on various social channels, and then with this tracking tool, we can check, we can analyze that which social through which social channel we are getting maximum traffic, and on after that, I mean, whatever is the outcome, we can take more decisions. Should we run another campaign, on which environment, on which platform we should run that environment? How do we analyze traffic patterns? So traffic patterns, understanding when traffic is highest or lowest can help in optimizing content delivery. Okay, what does that mean? When traffic is highest or lowest means, so for example, you are running your website, maybe in specific to US users, right? And your campaign should also start at the time when the people are not sleeping, of course. So that time duration, what time zone you are in, what time zone your users are most active, and on basis of that calculation, you are running your campaigns, you are doing that analysis, you are optimizing the content delivery, analyzing where your visitors are coming from geographically to tailor content or marketing strategies for specific reasons. I mean, you are running a campaign when those people are sleeping right now. What does that mean? There is no significance of running such campaign, correct? Traffic analysis, analyzing traffic by segmenting visitors based on demographics, behavior, or other attributes. This helps in understanding different user growth and their interactions with your site. Observing how traffic metrics change over time to identify patterns, peaks, and thoughts in user activity. So, for example, you have a running merchandising web portal, right? And you are running this campaign that there is an offer going on your website, right? 50% sale, etc. on merchandising. Now, different types of segments. Maybe this segment is of gender, where you want to send some notification that there is a 50% discount on this apparel, etc., right? So you don't want to send a women related apparel notification to a male one, right? Or vice versa. So what do? You create those segments, and to correct segment, you will target the right type of campaign, right? So that analysis we need to do first before we send those notification, whether it's a campaign or it's a newsletter, etc., to the users. Now this one is used these keywords. Explain the concept of props and eVars in Adobe Analytics. So now we know, and that's why I thought of, like, before I start technical discussion related to Adobe Analytics, we should understand what are these keywords which will come during the questions. For example, traffic variables. So props and eVars. Props are for traffic variables. These are used to collect and analyze traffic related data. So now we know what is traffic and what is traffic related data, such as page names, referrer, and search keywords. They provide information about the traffic to your site and are typically used for reporting on page views and visit details. This is important. Props are set at the time of the page view or event and are not retained for future visits. Explain the concept of same question, this time eVars. These are conversion variables. eVars are used to track conversion related data and attribute success events to specific action or attributes. Unlike props, eVars persist across multiple visits and interactions, allowing you to track the long-term impact of user actions on conversions. Okay, can you give some example of props and eVars in Adobe Analytics? Let's explain with an example of e-commerce website. Both eVars and props play a crucial role in capturing and analyzing user interactions, product performance, and conversion metrics. Tracking product views scenario. So you want to track which product are viewed by users and analyze this data to understand product popularity. Okay. So let's see eVar example here for that use case. So I created this uh, eVar 12, and I'll store product name, capture the name of the product being viewed. This eVar helps you analyze which product are getting the most views and can be used in conversion analysis. Set this eVar when a user views a product page, right? So this is a code snippet, and let's see the prop example. Product category. Track the category of the product being viewed. This prop help you analyze traffic based on product categories. Set this prop when a user views a product page to categorize the page view. And we just saw a keyword again. What is an event in Adobe Analytics? In event, an event represents any user action or interaction that you want to track on your website or apps, such as clicks, downloads, or form submission. These all are events. So user is performing some action. Events are crucial for measuring engagement and conversion activities. Each event can be configured to track specific actions, and you can analyze these events to understand user behavior and measure the effectiveness of your marketing efforts. For example, if you track an event for a complete purchase button click, so there is a button and which is, for example, complete my order or complete purchase or final order submission button, right? You can analyze how many users are completing purchase and evaluate the effectiveness of your checkout process. Now, likewise, we have events, we have success events. Success events are specific types of events that you want to track to measure key performance indicator. So likewise, it's a success event, right? And we have KPIs which business has decided or aligned. So success events are to track to measure KPIs. These are typically actions that represent successful interaction, such as completing a purchase, signing up for a newsletter, or submitting a form. Each success event can be configured with a unique identifier and can be used to trigger reports and analysis on how well certain business objectives are being met. For example, if your goal is to increase sales, this is one of the KPI. Increasing sales is the KPI. You would track a success event for each completed transaction to measure overall sales performance. So now we see how we are mapping our events to the KPI. So the event is successful purchase or completing the purchase, completing order, and our KPI is increasing sales. How they are mapped basically? Yeah, so this is how we map it. Okay, what is the Adobe Analytics App Measurement Library? The App Measurement Library is the JavaScript library used for collecting and sending data to Adobe Analytics. So it's a JavaScript library which we will build over Adobe Analytics site, and we'll integrate it on our HTML pages, and so that the data will flow from your HTML site to the Adobe Analytics. It provides functions and methods to set variables, track events, and manage visitor information. The library is included in your site's pages and handles the data collection process, sending it to Adobe server for processing and reporting. It makes sense, right? How Adobe Analytics will get this data from your HTML pages. Of course, you need to include one of the library, which is a JS library, to your pages, so that the information, this whole click event, whether it's a click event, page name, page title, page views, all this data have to be collected from your website, right? And then once it is collected, it will be sent over to the Adobe server. For example, you might use s.pagename to set the name of a page view, or s.t to track a page view event. So consider the page name is the name of that page and it is configured in the DOM. Describe the Adobe Analytics data collection process, how it is collected. So insert the Adobe Analytics JavaScript code app measurement library into your web pages. This code sends tracking data to Adobe server. That is one thing. So we include that library to our HTML pages. As users interact with your site or app, The JavaScript code captures data such as page views, events, and custom variables. This data is sent to Adobe server in real time or near real time. Adobe Analytics processes the incoming data to ensure it is clean, aggregated, and organized according to your report suite configuration. The processed data is then available for analysis and reporting through the Adobe Analytics interface, where users can create custom reports, visualizations, and dashboard. And I have created a separate playlist for it. Please check that, where I have explained how do we create a report suite, dashboards, etc. How we view the reports, etc. How we track all these events. Please check that. Okay, next question is, how does Adobe Analytics handle data privacy? So data privacy as in we are not sharing any PII information without consent or approval from user. So there are different rules also. Adobe Analytics incorporates various features to support data privacy. Personal information can be anonymized to protect user identities. One way is user consent management. Tools and settings are available to ensure that user consent is obtained before collecting data in compliance with regulations such as GDPR. Data exclusion and masking. Specific data points can be excluded or masked to ensure sensitive information is not captured or shared. So for example, when we are capturing the data, we can mask email address, right? Or we can exclude some data, for example, date of birth or any PII information which is not relevant. So we can either exclude that or we can mask that data. Mask means we are hiding that information, maybe using star. That is one of the masking type. Access controls. Administrators can set up role-based access controls to ensure that only authorized personnel have access to sensitive data. So in my team, maybe there are 10 people, but of course all should not have access to see production users data. So only users which are applicable should have access to that. So administrator can set that role based access. Explain the concept of report suites in Adobe Analytics. A report suite is a container for data collected from your website or application. It is used to organize and manage data for reporting and analysis. Each report suite corresponds to a specific set of data, which could be related to a particular website, mobile app, or digital channel. Report suites allow you to configure tracking settings, define variables, and generate reports tailored to that specific needs of that data set. For instance, you might have separate report suites for different regions or brands to analyze performance individually. So we can create report suites for different domains, or we can have a combined report suites. That is also possible. This one we already understand now, but let's answer this question. What are segments in Adobe Analytics and how they are used? Segments are subsets of your data defined by specific criteria such as user behavior, demographics, or engagement levels. Segments help you isolate and analyze particular groups of users to understand their interactions better. For example, you might create a segment for users who visited your site from a particular marketing campaign and analyze their behavior to measure the campaign's effectiveness. Segments can be used across various reports and dashboards to provide targeted insights. How do you implement Adobe Analytics on a website? Including JavaScript code, add the Adobe Analytics tracking code, which is app measurement library, to the pages of your website. This code captures data on your interaction and send it to Adobe Analytics. So based on various interaction events happening on the website, for example, some CTA is being clicked, I'm downloading some file, I'm clicking on some link, etc. Right? Any action is being performed, any event is happening, so it will be captured and will send it to Adobe server. Configure report suites. Set up report suites in Adobe Analytics to organize and manage your data. Define tracking settings, variables, props, and eVars and events. Setup tracking. Define what you want to track, such as page views, clicks, custom events. Configure your tracking code to capture these interactions. Testing. Test your implementation using tools like Adobe Debugger to ensure data is being captured accurately. And finally, deploy. Once testing is complete, deploy the tracking code across your site. Next question is, how do we test Adobe Analytics implementation? Using Debugger, the browser extension helps you verify that data is being sent correctly by displaying the data sent in each tracking beacon. Browser developer tools. Inspect network requests to check if tracking beacons are firing and review the data being sent. So within the browser itself, we can see those calls, and we can see if the data is being sent or not properly. Adobe Analytics reports. Check the Adobe Analytics interface to ensure that data appears in reports as expected. And finally, validation. Compare data with other sources or tools to ensure consistency and accuracy. And guys, I have created another playlist for Adobe Analytics where I have shown all these concepts. How do we trigger those events? How do we trigger the beacon? And then finally, how do we see all those events on the Adobe Analytics side? Now, what is a beacon? Beacon in Adobe Analytics. A beacon is an HTTP request sent from a user's browser to Adobe Analytics server containing tracking data about user interactions. So basically what happens, this I have included that script library to my web pages, correct? Now whenever I'm performing any action for which this tracking should happen, so for example click event, or I'm clicking on the CTA button, etc., we will see a network call. That network call will have all the tracking data which we want to track on Adobe Analytics side, right? That call itself is called beacon. Beacons include information such as page views, events, and variable values. For example, when a user clicks a button, a beacon is sent to capture that click event along with relevant data. Explain the purpose of S_code in Adobe Analytics. The S code was part of Adobe's legacy tracking system used to configure and send data to Adobe Analytics. So please remember, it was a legacy way of tracking. But I have observed that this question might still be asked. So I thought better I'll put this question also. It included JavaScript functions to set variables, track events, and manage visitor data. Although largely replaced by the app measurement library, right? This one, S_code was essential in earlier implementations and provided similar functionality to track and report user interaction. So we just need to mention that it was a legacy way of doing things, but now it is replaced by app measurement library. But good to know thing. How do you configure Adobe Analytics for a single page application? We call it as SPA also. So for SPAs, where the page does not fully reload, traditionally page views tracking won't work. So we know how this SPA works, right? Your URL will remain constant, and whenever you interact through the website, only the section or the fragment of that page changes, right? But the URL is will remain static. That is called single page application, right? So we have seen that the tracking, how normal tracking works. Whenever you do a page refresh or page view, that time we track those events and we send it to Adobe Analytics. But now for SPA case, what do we do? Instead, we need to use the s.tl function to manually track virtual pages, views, and events, because conceptually there is only one page, only single page, right? So configure your SPA to trigger s.tl when significant interaction occurs, such as navigating between different views or sections. So what we will do, we will have those events. For example, within my page, I am clicking on some button, or I am navigating from one view to another view. Though the URL is not changing, but through script I can invoke the library. I can invoke that that event. This ensures that analytics data accurately reflects user interactions within the SPA environment. What are some use cases for real-time data processing in Adobe Analytics? Let's see, live campaign monitoring. Track the performance of ongoing marketing campaign and optimize in real time. Immediate incident response. Detect and address issues, for example, site outages, anomalies as they occur. Real-time personalization. Adjust website content or offers based on real-time user behavior and interactions. Example, monitor user engagement during a live event and adjust content or offers based on real-time interactions to maximize impact. How do you handle data from different domains in Adobe Analytics? So we might have different domains for our website or even subdomains. So to handle data from multiple domains, you can use cross-domain tracking. This is a feature, cross-domain tracking. This involves configuring your Adobe Analytics setup to recognize and link user sessions across different domains. Implement the same tracking code across all domains and use the s.dc function to ensure that user interactions are correctly associated with a single visitor profile. So for example, if the navigation is happening from one domain to another domain, since we will track it using the same ID, we will use this s.dc function. We'll make sure that it will be tied to a single visitor profile. What are data elements in Adobe Experience Platform launch? Data elements are variables in Adobe Experience Platform launch that store and manage data for use in tags, rules, and conditions. So basically, you create a data element and use it for multiple purpose. You create once and then use it multiple locations. So for example, we can relate it with constants. In Java we create constants at one place and then we use it at multiple places. Similar to that, they are used to capture data from the web page, such as URL parameters or user interactions, and make it available for tagging and analytics purpose. For example, a data element might capture the value of a query's string parameter to be used in tracking or reporting. And I have created a playlist. Like I said, I have explained data elements in that playlist. Please check that. How do you set up click tracking in Adobe Analytics? I mean, I have this feature where I have links available in my system and I want to track the click event. Click tracking involves configuring Adobe Analytics to capture user clicks on specific elements such as buttons or links. This is typically done by using the s.tl function to send custom events whenever a click occurs. Define the click event in your tracking code and specify the relevant variables to capture the context of the click, such as the element's ID or URL. Okay, what are ad hoc analysis reports in Adobe Analytics? Ad hoc analysis reports allow users to create custom on-the-fly analysis of their data. These reports provide flexibility in selecting metrics, dimensions, and segments to analyze data according to specific needs. Users can build and modify reports dynamically, enabling them to explore data in detail and generate insight tailored to their queries. How do you use calculated metrics in Adobe Analytics? Calculated metrics are user-defined metrics created by combining existing metrics using mathematical operations. For example, you might create a calculated matrix to determine the average order value by dividing total revenue by the number of orders. Calculated metrics allow you to create custom KPIs and perform complex analysis that go beyond standard metrics. Okay, what is the data warehouse feature in Adobe Analytics? The data warehouse feature allows users to extract large volumes of raw data from Adobe Analytics for offline analysis. Users can define custom data extracts based on specific criteria such as date ranges, dimensions, and metrics. This feature is useful for in-depth analysis and integration with other systems or BI tools. So you will extract that information, and then any BI tool you can use, for example Power BI, where you can import this data and you can analyze this data. Explain the concept of fallout analysis and its importance. Fallout analysis tracks the drop-off points in a user journey, such as steps in a checkout process or stages in a funnel. By analyzing where user drop off, you can identify and address issues in the user experience, optimize processes, and improve conversion rates. For example, if many users drop off at the payment stage, and this is a very common example, it may indicate issues with the payment process that needs to be resolved. I mean, either the user experience is not good on that page, right? Or maybe the functionality is not working correctly on that page, something like that. But we can investigate what is that issue. What is pathing analysis and how is it useful? Pathing analysis examines the sequence of pages or actions taken by users as they navigate through your site. It helps identify common user paths, understand how users interact with different content, and uncover potential navigation issues. This analysis is useful for optimizing site structure and enhancing user experience. How do you create a custom report in Adobe Analytics? And I have created a demo video for it. Please watch that in Adobe Analytics playlist. But theoretically, to create a custom report, navigate to the report section in Adobe Analytics and select the option to create a new report. Choose the metrics, dimensions, segments you want to include, configure the report settings and save it. Custom reports allow you to tailor data analysis to specific business needs and generate insights based on your unique requirements. So usually we do not have the dashboard when we are being interviewed. So it's good to have at least some theoretical or navigational point of view knowledge that, okay, if interviewer asks such type of question, how do you create a custom report, you can answer because you know the UI of analytics. You can just tell right, that we will just go to that section and then we'll create a new report. We'll choose the metrics, dimensions, segments, etc. and this is how we can create a new report. What are calculated metrics and how are they used in reporting? Calculated metrics are metrics created by applying mathematical formula to existing data. They are used to derive custom KPIs and perform advanced analysis. We just read it, but sometimes manipulated questions also come in interview. For example, you might create a calculated metrics for return on investment by dividing profit by marketing spend. This allows you to generate insights that are not available with standard metrics alone. Describe the use of data feeds in Adobe Analytics. Data feeds export raw data from Adobe Analytics into structured formats like CSV or XML. This data can be used for detailed offline analysis, integration with other systems, or for building custom reports. Data feeds are useful for processing large data sets or combining Adobe Analytics data with other data sources. It is also useful for any BI integration. So for example, you want to import that data to Power BI. You will just extract that data and CSV you can import in the Power BI. And then you can create a nice dashboard in other BI tools also. What are virtual report suites and their advantages? Virtual report suites allow you to create customized view of your data without altering the underlying report suite. So they are useful for filtering and segmenting data to meet specific reporting needs. For example, you might create a virtual report suite to exclude certain traffic resources or focus on specific regions, providing tailored insight for different business units. How do you use segments to refine report in Adobe Analytics? Segments allow you to filter and analyze subsets of your data based on defined criteria. So for example, you have the whole report and you want to filter it based on different segments, maybe it's age or gender or any other type of segment. You can provide that filter. By applying segments to reports, you can focus on specific user groups, behavior or interactions. For instance, you might create a segment for users who complete a purchase who completed a purchase and apply it to your revenue report to analyze their purchasing behavior in detail. What is data sampling and how does it affect report in Adobe Analytics? Data sampling involves using a subset of data to generate reports when dealing with large data sets. It speeds up report generation because of course the data set is lesser in size, but can also affect the accuracy of the results. Adobe Analytics applies sampling to ensure that reports are generated efficiently while maintaining a balance between performance and data accuracy. How do you use the Adobe Analytics API? Adobe Analytics API provide programmatic access to analytics data, allowing you to automate data retrieval, create custom reports, and integrate with other systems. For example, the reporting API enables you to query data from Adobe Analytics reports via HTTP requests, retrieve metrics, and integrate them into external applications or dashboards. So we have those HTTP APIs available. We can use them for any crude operation and we can get the data. And then on basis of our business requirement, we can create a nice dashboard, maybe to another BI tool, Power BI, so we can use them. What is Adobe Experience Platform Launch? Adobe Experience Platform Launch is a tag management system that simplifies the deployment and management of Adobe Analytics and other marketing tags. It provides a user-friendly interface for configuring, deploying, and maintaining tags, enabling more efficient management of tracking and analytics. And I have created a playlist, separate playlist. How can we create tags, etc., rules, everything I have explained in that playlist. Please watch those videos for better explanation. How does Adobe Analytics integrate with Adobe Target? So Adobe Analytics integrates with Adobe Target to enhance personalization and testing. Data from analytics can be used to create audience segments in Target, while Target's personalization efforts are informed by analytics data. So for example, we know what is the segment. Using those segments, we can create audience segments. So for example, group of people whose age is in between of maybe 30 to 50 is a one segment, or maybe another type of audience segment could be gender specific segment, right, or geography specific audience segment. So what we can create, we can create segments and then we create personalization using Target. So for example, all female users will receive this type of target experience, so that experience will be targeted, or there might be multiple examples. This integration allows for more precise targeting and optimization of user experience based on detailed analytics insight. This question will not come for sure, but I just put it. How do you implement site catalyst tracking in Adobe Analytics? Site catalyst tracking refers to Adobe's previous analytics system. In modern implementations, you would use the app measurement library for tracking. This involves adding JavaScript code to your site to capture and send data on user interaction, such as page views and events, to Adobe Analytics for processing and reporting. What is Experience Cloud ID service and how does it work? The Experience Cloud ID service provides a universal visitor ID that integrates across Adobe Experience Cloud products. It enables seamless tracking of user interactions across different devices and channels by assigning a consistent identifier to each visitor. This unified ID helps in creating a comprehensive view of user behavior. How does Adobe Analytics handle referral data? Referral data tracks the sources that drive traffic to your site. So we have seen that referral, one of the example is Google. Google is a referral. People search website over there and then click on that. So that becomes referral. Such as search engine, social media or other websites. Adobe Analytics captures this data to analyze the effectiveness of different marketing channels and understand where visitors are coming from. This information helps in optimizing marketing strategies and improving traffic acquisition. What is the role of tracking code in Adobe Analytics? The tracking code is a JavaScript snippet inserted into your web pages to capture and send data to Adobe Analytics server. It collects information about user interactions such as page views, events, and custom variables and sends it to Adobe Analytics for processing and reporting. Proper implementation of this code is crucial for accurate data collection. What is the Data Insertion API? The Data Insertion API allows you to send data to Adobe Analytics from external sources or systems. It is useful for importing offline data or integrating data from third-party applications. For example, you might use the Data Insertion API to upload transaction data from a CRM system to analyze customer purchase alongside web interaction data. Describe the use of custom variables in Adobe Analytics. Custom variables such as props and eVars are used to capture specific data about user interactions on your site. Props, which are traffic variables, are used for traffic related data, while eVars, which are conversion variables, track conversion related data and persist across sessions. For instance, you might use a prop to track the page URL and an eVar to track the source of a referral. How does Adobe Analytics process page views? Adobe Analytics tracks page views by capturing data each time a page is loaded. This data is sent to Adobe Analytics servers and used to report on metrics such as page views, unique visitors, and average page depth. Page views are fundamental for understanding site traffic and user engagement. What is the importance of unique visitors metric? The unique visitors metric measures the number of distinct individuals who visit your site during a specified period. It helps in understanding the size of your audience and assessing the reach of your marketing efforts. Unlike total page views, which may count multiple visits by the same user, unique visitors provide a count of individual users. Explain the role of visitor profile in Adobe Analytics. The visitor profile provides a comprehensive view of individual user behavior across sessions and devices. It includes data such as visit history, interactions, and engagement patterns. Understanding visitor profiles helps in personalizing experiences and targeting user more effectively. What is hit and how is it tracked in Adobe Analytics? A hit is a single request sent to Adobe Analytics servers, capturing data about a specific user interaction. Hits can include page views, events, and custom data. Each hit provides information that contributes to the overall reporting and analysis of user behavior. Describe the concept of data retention in Adobe Analytics. Data retention refers to the length of time that data is stored and available for reporting and analysis in Adobe Analytics. So the time for which this data will be stored and will be available. Adobe Analytics typically retains data for up to 25 months, but users can configure settings to meet specific data retention policies and compliance requirements. How does Adobe Analytics handle event tracking? Event tracking involves capturing and analyzing specific user actions such as clicks, downloads, or video plays. Adobe Analytics tracks these events by configuring the tracking code to send data whenever the specified actions occur. This allows you to measure engagement and interaction levels with various site elements. How do you troubleshoot tracking issues in Adobe Analytics? What we can do? Verify implementation. Ensure that the tracking code is correctly implemented on your site. We can also see if there is any console level error, maybe some script is breaking, etc. Use debugging tools. Utilize tools like Adobe Debugger to check if data is being sent properly. So what we can do in the browser console itself, we will see those calls whenever those actions are being performed, that the call is happening or not. That is also we can check data in reports, compare data in Adobe Analytics reports with expected results to identify discrepancies. And we can review the configuration, check configuration setting for variables, events and report suites to ensure that they are correctly set up. What are data quality checks and how are they performed? Data quality checks involve validating the accuracy and consistency of data collected by Adobe Analytics. This includes cross-referencing data, compare analytics data with other data sources or systems, testing tracking code, ensure that the tracking code is correctly capturing and sending the data, reviewing report accuracy, verify that report reflect accurate and expected data, regular audits, conduct regular audits of tracking configuration and data collection processes. How do you manage data processing delays in Adobe Analytics? Data processing delays refer to the time it takes for data to be processed and appear in reports. And to manage delays, what we can do? Understand processing time. Be aware of typical processing time for different report types. Monitor data flow. Check for any issues with data collection or transmission. If the data is not even flowing to the report. Use real-time reports. Utilize real-time or near real-time reporting feature for immediate insights. What steps we can take to resolve tracking errors? Identify errors, review error logs, track and tracking reports to identify the issues. Correct implementation, fix errors in the tracking code or configuration. Maybe it's related to some script issue. Test thoroughly. Conduct thorough testing to ensure that errors are resolved and data is being captured accurately. Monitor continuously. Regularly monitor tracking to detect and address any new issues. How do you handle data integrity issues in Adobe Analytics? Ensuring accurate tracking. Verify that tracking code is implemented correctly and data is collected as expected. Conducting regular audits. Perform audits to check for discrepancies and validate data accuracy. Validating reports. Compare report data with expected results and other data sources. Addressing issues promptly. Resolve any identified issues promptly to maintain data quality. What are the best practices for data validation in Adobe Analytics? Cross-check with other sources. Compare data with other analytics tools or data sources. Test tracking implementations. Verify that tracking code is capturing the correct data. Regularly review reports. Ensure report reflect accurate and expected results. And use debugging tools. Utilize tools to troubleshoot and validate data collection. How do you address data gaps in Adobe Analytics? Data gaps occur when there is missing or incomplete data. And to address those issues, identify the causes, determine the source of the data gap, such as tracking code issue or data processing errors, right? Maybe some script error. Fix implementations, correct any issue with the tracking code or configuration, because that is the starting point. If the tracking code itself is not working, then it will stop other things also. Fill data gaps if possible. Use backup data sources or recollect missing data. Monitor data continuously. Regularly check data to prevent and address any new gaps. Next question is, what are data anomalies and how do you investigate them? Data anomalies are unexpected or unusual pattern in data, such as sudden spikes or drops. And to investigate anomalies, review tracking implementation, check for any changes or issues in tracking code or configuration. And we must have noticed that these things are coming whether there are best practices involved or we are trying to debug the issue, whether it's anomaly or normal issue why the data is not being captured. These are the standard. So we track, we check, we review the tracking implementation, and we compare it with the previous configuration if we have changed the configuration or etc. These are the things which we do anyways. So review tracking implementation, check for any changes or issues in tracking code or configuration, analyze trends, examine trends and pattern to understand the context of the anomaly, compare with historical data, compare anomalies with historical data to determine if they are consistent with past behavior, consult stakeholders, engage with the stakeholders to understand any external factors that might influence the data. How do you ensure consistent data reporting across different report suites? So what we can do, standardize the configurations, use consistent tracking configurations and definitions across report suites, align metrics and dimensions, ensure that metrics and dimensions are defined uniformly across reports. Regular audits, conduct regular audits to verify consistency and accuracy. Document processes, maintain documentation of tracking setup and reporting standards. So anyways, when we are seeing consistent across different report suite, so it means we need to make some standard in all the configurations, whether it's configuration, whether it's a dimension setting in the metrics, right? We need to set up some process, and processes we always set in as part of documentation. So that is what is the gist of this question. What is data governance and how is it applied in Adobe Analytics? The data governance involves managing data quality, security, and compliance. And in Adobe Analytics, it is applied by setting data standard, define and enforce standard for data collection and reporting, implementing access control, control who can access and modify the data, ensuring compliance, adhere to data privacy regulations and industry standards, monitoring data quality, regularly review data for accuracy and integrity. Okay, next question is how do you integrate Adobe Analytics with CRM systems? So APIs, data feeds and custom integrations. Use Adobe Analytics APIs, and we know we have HTTP APIs available to send or retrieve data from CRM systems. Data feeds, import CRM data into Adobe Analytics for analysis and reporting. Custom integrations, develop custom solutions to synchronize data between Adobe Analytics and CRM systems for enhanced customer insights. What is the role of Audience Manager in Adobe Analytics? Audience Manager is Adobe's data management platform that helps create and manage audience segments based on data from Adobe Analytics and other sources. It allows for advanced audience targeting and personalized marketing by leveraging detailed user profiles and behavioral data. This question is very rare to be true, but yeah, I just put it. How does Adobe Analytics integrate with Adobe Experience Manager AEM, which is a CMS? Integration with AEM allows for seamless tracking and reporting of content performance. Adobe Analytics can be configured within AEM to track user interaction with content, analyze engagement metrics, and optimize content strategies based on detailed analytics. What we can do, we can create a data layer which can be added to the AEM template, right? And then we include that client library also to the template, and whenever actions are performed, those events are triggered from AEM pages. What is Adobe Target and how does it work with Adobe Analytics? Adobe Target is a personalization and testing tool that works with Adobe Analytics to optimize user experiences. Data from analytics informs Target's personalization efforts, enabling you to create targeted content and conduct A/B testing based on detailed user behavior insights. How do you use Adobe Analytics data with external BI tools? So, although we have already covered this question, but that time the language was different. Data can be exported from Adobe Analytics or accessed through APIs to integrate with external business intelligence BI tools. So, for example, Power BI. This allows for advanced analysis, custom reporting, and visualization using tools like Tableau, Power BI, or Excel, providing deeper insights and data manipulation capabilities. So first we can extract this data, maybe CSV data. That is one way, and we will just import this data. And Power BI, so for example, Power BI also provide an option of APIs. If APIs are available, so we can just directly hit the API. We need to authenticate those APIs, and then we can pull in all the data. That is also one option. Explain the use of Adobe Campaign with Adobe Analytics. Adobe Campaign integrates with Adobe Analytics to enable data-driven marketing campaigns. Analytics data helps in segmenting audiences, tracking campaign performance, and personalizing marketing efforts based on user behavior and interactions. What is the Adobe Experience Platform, or AEP, and how does it relate to Adobe Analytics? The Adobe Experience Platform is a centralized hub for customer data, integrating with Adobe Analytics to provide a unified view of customer behavior across channels. It enables advanced data analysis, audience segmentation, and personalized experiences by leveraging comprehensive data from Adobe Analytics and other sources. How do you handle multi-channel attribution in Adobe Analytics? Multi-channel attribution involves assigning credit to various touchpoints in a user journey. Adobe Analytics offers attribution models that help analyze how different channels contribute to conversions. You can use these models to understand the impact of each channel and optimize marketing strategies accordingly. What are real-time reports in Adobe Analytics? Real-time reports provide up to the minute data on user interactions, allowing for immediate insights into site performance and user behavior. These reports are useful for monitoring live traffic, detecting issues, and making timely decisions based on current data. How do you leverage machine learning with Adobe Analytics? Adobe Analytics uses machine learning to provide predictive insights and automated analysis. Features like anomaly detection, predictive metrics, and automated segmentations use machine learning algorithms to identify trends, forecast outcomes, and optimize marketing efforts based on data patterns. Okay, next question is, what are the best practices for setting up tracking in Adobe Analytics? So first thing is define objectives. Clearly outline tracking goals and metrics. So we need to understand what are the KPIs, and on basis of those KPIs we define objectives. Implement consistently. Ensure consistent implementation of tracking codes and variables. Test thoroughly. Validate tracking setups with thorough testing. Document configurations. Maintain documentation for tracking implementation and configuration. Regular reviews. Periodically review and update tracking setup to align with changing business needs. And please note down that these 2 or 3 points I have put again and again for different type of best practices or troubleshooting features. So for example, implement consistently, test thoroughly, documentation, regular review. Almost I think 4 or 5 questions I have put the same bullet points. It's because they are applicable almost everywhere, whether it's troubleshooting, you are troubleshooting issues, or you are implementing analytics in using best practices. How do you optimize data collection in Adobe Analytics? Use efficient tracking code, implement tracking code that minimizes performance impact, configure variables effectively, set up variables to capture relevant data without redundancy, monitor data accuracy, regularly check data accuracy and completeness, leverage data layers, use data layers to structure and manage data efficiently. Next question is, what are the best practices for reporting and analysis in Adobe Analytics? Again, it's a best practice. So you will notice the same type of answer. Define key metrics, focus on metrics that align with business objectives, use segments wisely, apply segments to analyze specific user groups and behavior, visualize data effectively, use charts and graphs to present data clearly, regularly review reports, continuously review and adjust reports to ensure they meet analytical needs. How do you ensure data privacy and compliance in Adobe Analytics? Follow regulations, adhere to regulations like GDPR, CCPA, implement consent management, use consent management tools to manage user permissions. Consent managements are basically on your website, you will have the consent management option. User will select which cookies are user can opt in or opt out various cookies, and only those cookies will be tracked, right? Anonymize data, use data anonymization technique to protect user identities. Regular audits, conduct audits to ensure compliance with privacy policies. What are data governance policies and why are they important? Data governance policies define how data is managed, protected, and utilized within an organization. They are important for ensuring data quality, security, and compliance. Policies help establish standards for data collection, reporting, and access, contributing to effective and responsible data management. And there are countries where this is very critical, at least the data governance part. So for example, Europe GDPR rules. So it is very critical and crucial to define the governance policy and adhere to those policies. How do you perform data quality assurance in Adobe Analytics? Validating data accuracy, ensure that data is collected and reported accurately. Testing tracking implementations, verify that tracking code and configurations are working correctly. Monitoring data consistency, check for consistency across reports and data sources. Addressing issues promptly, resolve any identified data quality issues to maintain integrity. What are the best practices for custom metric creation in Adobe Analytics? What are the best practices for custom metric creation in Adobe Analytics? Define clear objectives, create metrics that align with business goals, use relevant data, ensure metrics are based on meaningful and accurate data, test thoroughly, document metrics. Remember, whenever you get this best practice type of question, right? Documentation, test thoroughly, use relevant data, and of course the clear objectives, the KPIs, etc. we need. So just make these 4 points will be applicable for any type of best practices question mostly. Okay, but yeah. And let's see this example again. How do you ensure effective tag management? Effective tag management in Adobe. Use a tag management system. Implement a tag management system like Adobe Experience Platform. Launch for efficient management. Standardized tags. Use standardized tags for consistency and easier maintenance. Test and validate tags. Regularly test and validate tags to ensure they work correctly. Monitor performance. Monitor tag performance to detect and resolve any issues. What is the role of user experience in optimizing Adobe Analytics implementation? The design, the look and feel of the website portal. User experience UX plays a crucial role in ensuring that analytics implementations are effective and user friendly. A good UX ensures that tracking setup aligns with user interaction and behavior, leading to more accurate data collection and meaningful insight. Right? So for example, This tracking should happen on CTA or link click, but by mistake someone has just put it on page refresh. That's wrong. How do you leverage real-time analytics for business decisions? Monitoring live data, use real-time data to track current user interactions and performance. Making timely decisions, use real-time insights to make immediate adjustments to marketing strategies or site content. Detecting issues quickly, identify and address any issues or anomalies as they occur. What are Adobe Analytics extensions and how do they enhance functionality? Adobe Analytics extensions are add-ons or plugins that extend the functionality of Adobe Analytics. They provide additional features, integrations, or tools that enhance data collection, reporting, and analysis. For example, connectors for other systems, visualization tools, or advanced analytics capabilities. How do you use data visualization tools with Adobe Analytics? Data visualization tools help in presenting Adobe Analytics data in graphical format such as charts, graphs, and dashboards. So we create a nice looking dashboards. We have charts and graphs over there. And you can integrate these tools with Adobe Analytics to create interactive and insightful visualization that facilitate better understanding and communication of data. How do you integrate Google Analytics with Adobe Analytics? Integration with Google Analytics involves exporting or sharing data between the two platforms. This can be done by exporting data from Google Analytics and importing it to Adobe Analytics for comparative analysis or by using APIs to synchronize data between the systems. Not only like Google Analytics or Adobe Analytics, any type of analytics, right, provides data export. So first we will export the data and then we will import to the new system whatever we need. So for example, if we want to transfer it from Google to Adobe, so we'll first extract it from Google and then we'll import it to Adobe, or vice versa. You want to import it to Google, we'll first export this data from Adobe Analytics and then we'll import it to Google. And there are APIs exposed from both systems, so that is also possible, that we create a program and then through program we do that import or export. What are third-party integrations and how do they benefit Adobe Analytics users? Third-party integrations connect Adobe Analytics with other tools and systems such as CRM platforms, marketing automation tools, or data management systems. These integrations enhance Adobe Analytics capabilities by providing additional data sources, enabling more comprehensive analysis and improving overall marketing efficiency. So for example, a CRM system is integrated, Salesforce is integrated, so and we are creating a unified persona of the user. So we'll get that information from CRM system, and then from our website when this tracking is happening, so we are getting some data from the CRM which we are pulling into the Adobe Analytics. How do you use Adobe Analytics mobile SDK for app tracking? The Adobe Analytics mobile SDK is used to integrate Adobe Analytics into mobile applications. It allows for tracking user interactions, events, and behavior within the app. By implementing the SDK, you can capture data such as app usage, in-app purchases, and user engagement, providing insights into mobile app performance. How do you handle data migration between Adobe Analytics environments? Data migration involves transferring data between different Adobe Analytics environments or accounts. This can be done by exporting data from the source environment and importing it into the target environment. Simple. Proper planning, data mapping, and validation are essential to ensure a smooth migration process. And not only within the Adobe Analytics, but like I said earlier, whenever we want to migrate this data from maybe Adobe Analytics to Google Analytics, vice versa, we have the export import feature available. So export this data from the source, import this data to the target. That's it. What are custom JavaScript functions and how do they enhance Adobe Analytics tracking? Custom JavaScript functions are user-defined scripts that extend the capabilities of Adobe Analytics tracking. So we can write our own custom JavaScript functions. They can be used to customize data collection, manipulate data before sending it to Adobe Analytics, or integrate with other systems. These functions allow for more tailored and precise tracking setups. How do we leverage APIs for advanced data manipulation in Adobe Analytics? APIs provide programmatic access to Adobe Analytics data. They enable advanced data manipulation by allowing users to automate data retrieval, create custom report, integrate with other systems, and build custom applications. For example, you can use the reporting API to pull data into a custom dashboard or BI tool, like for example Power BI. So Power BI provides that REST based or API calls. So we can just go to the Power BI console, pull the data, give the HTTP URL, authenticate that, and then we will get all the data whatever is there in the analytics side. How do you optimize conversion funnels in Adobe Analytics? Analyze drop-off points. Identify stages where user drop off and address issues. Improve user experience. Simplify and enhance the conversion process based on funnel analysis. Test and iterate. Use A/B testing and other methods to experiment with funnel changes and measure impact. Monitor performance. Continuously track funnel performance and make data-driven adjustments. What are segmentation strategies in Adobe Analytics and how do we implement them? Segmentation strategies involve creating user segments based on specific criteria to analyze behavior and performance. Defining segmentation criteria. Set up criteria based on user attributes, behavior or interactions. Use Adobe Analytics tools to create and apply segments. Review data for insight and trends specific to each segment. And of course, modify the segments based on findings and evolving business needs. What are custom dashboards and how do you create them in Adobe Analytics? Custom dashboards are tailored views of your data that provide specific insights and metrics. And how can we create them? Selecting relevant metrics, choose metrics that align with your goals, arrange data visualizations and widgets to meet your needs, ensure data sources are correctly set up for accurate reporting, and keep dashboards updated with current data and adjust as needed. How do you use advanced segmentation in Adobe Analytics? Advanced segmentation allows for more granular analysis by combining multiple criteria. And how can we use it? By defining complex criteria, set up detailed conditions for segment creation, combining dimensions and metrics, use a mix of dimensions and metrics for precise segmentation, apply segments to analyze specific user groups or behavior, and finally analyze segment data for actionable insights and trends. Okay, now this question, what is attribution modeling? Attribution modeling in Adobe Analytics is a method used to assign credit to different touch points in customer's journey that lead to a conversion or desired outcome. This helps in understanding how various interactions contribute to achieving business goals such as sales or lead generation. Now there are two key terms in this answer. One is the touch point and the second one is credit. Let's understand one by one each. So the question can be, what is credit in attribution modeling, or what do we understand by credit? In the context of attribution modeling and digital marketing, credit refers to the value or acknowledgement assigned to different touch points or interactions in a customer's journey that contribute to a conversion or desired outcome. Means we are giving some value to the touch points. We will see what is touch point, but we are giving some weightage, some value to the touch points. Essentially, credit is a way of recognizing the role each touch point plays in driving a customer to take a specific action, such as making a purchase, signing for a newsletter, completing a form, or whatever is the business functionality. So let's understand what is touch point. So the question could be, what are touch points? A touch point in marketing refers to any interaction or point of contact between a customer and a brand throughout their journey. So when customer is coming to the brand, whatever interactions happening between customer and brand, those interactions are called touch points. Touch points are the moments when customer engage with a brand, whether directly or indirectly, and can occur through various channels and mediums. These interactions help shape the customer's perception of the brand and influence their decisions. What are the types of touch points? There can be multiple types, but let's understand few. Digital touch points. One example is one website visits, interactions with website, reading content, or making a purchase. Email, receiving and interacting with promotional emails from the brand. Social media, engagements through platforms like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Online ads, viewing or clicking on digital ads such as display ads, search engine ads, etc. So these are all digital touch points. Means because we are using digital platform to interact with the brand. Physical touch points, retail stores, visiting a physical store or trying products. Events, attending brand sponsored events, trade shows or promotions. Product packaging, interaction with the brand through packaging and labeling. So you see, I mean, digital is when we are doing that, interaction is happening virtually through digital platforms. Basically, when we are actually visiting or attending any event or something. Few more. Another type is customer service touch points. So for example, support calls, interactions with customer service representative via phone calls, live chat, engaging with support through live chat on the website, help desk tickets, submitting and receiving responses to support tickets or inquiries. Content touch points. For example, someone has written the blog post, so reading and interacting with content published on the brand's blog. Videos, watching brand related content on platforms like YouTube or social media. Now we understand what is credit and what is touch point, right? Now another question is, explain the role of credit and attribution modeling. Distribution of credit. Attribution models determine how credit is distributed among various touch points. For example, in a linear attribution model, we will see there are many type of attribution model. Linear attribution model is one of them. So example is, in a linear attribution model, credit is evenly distributed among all touch points, while in a last touch model, that is another type of attribution model, all credit goes to the final touch point before conversion. Value assignment. Credit quantifies the contribution of each touch point. This helps business understand the relative importance of different interactions and channels in the customer journey. Performance measurement. By assigning credit, businesses can measure and evaluate the performance of various marketing channels, campaigns, and touch points. This insight helps in optimizing marketing strategies and budget allocation. Optimization. Credit allocation helps marketers identify which touch points are most effective and which may need improvement. This in turn allows for more strategic planning and optimization of marketing efforts. So I mean, we can see, okay, there are various touch points and which one is doing better for us, or which one is not doing better, and we can improve that touch point. So now let's see the real-time example. So the question could be, can you provide a real-time example of how attribution credit works in a digital marketing scenario? A customer is considering buying a new laptop. Over the course of a few weeks, the customer interacts with various marketing touchpoints from different channels before making a purchase. Now let's understand the customer's journey. Initial interaction. Customer sees a display ad for the laptop brand while browsing a news website. This is her first interaction with the brand. So this is one touch point. Initial interaction, then follow-up interaction, another touch point. Later, customer receives an email with a discount offer from the laptop brand. She clicks on the email but doesn't make a purchase immediately. Social media, customer then sees a retargeting ad on Facebook about the same laptop brand, which reminds her of the email offer. Website visit, customer visits the laptop brand's website directly, browses different models, reads reviews, and adds a laptop to her cart, but does not complete the purchase. You see, this is another touch point. This is also another touch point. This any way through which the customer is interacting with your brand, that is touch point. Final interaction. A few days later, customer receives a remarketing SMS with a limited time discount offer. She clicks through and completes the purchase on the brand's website. And see, this is kind of segment we had created. I mean, this is actually an example of segmentation also, because we must have created a segment that the people who have put just read the review or add laptop to the cart but has not finally put the order in place. So send them some newsletter or some SMS or some notification that there is a discount offer going on, just so that we can push them back to the website on final purchase. Now let's understand attribution and credit allocation throughout this journey. So first touch, attribution. Customer's first interaction with the display ad receives all the credit for the conversion. This model would suggest that the display ad is solely responsible for the purchase. You see, I mean, whenever the customer sees the ad for the very first time, that is the actual cause that customer has purchased the laptop. That is first touch attribution. Last touch attribution, the SMS which we triggered to customer that there is a limited time discount. That SMS that the customer received just before completing the purchase receives all the credit for the conversion. This model would attribute the entire value to the sale to the SMS. Got it right? So for example, we got a new project and we have developers, right, to complete that project, and finally we delivered the project, and finally HR people will give some money to the people. So who will take the credit? It's like that. So that the sales people who actually got that project, the developers who developed that project, or the management team, or finally the QA team who delivered that project. So this is like that only explanation. Finally, the linear attribution here, credit is equally distributed across all touch points. So each interaction, whether it's a display ad, email, social media ad, website visit, SMS, etc., would receive an equal share of the credit for the conversion. Time decay attribution. The SMS and the website visit receive the most credit, as they are the closest interaction to the final purchase. So the last one was SMS, but before that SMS, user also visit the website and added the item to the cart. So they both receive the credit. The earlier touch points, where the user has visited the website, displayed this ad was displayed to her in news while she was reading the news, etc., receive less credit. U-shaped attribution. The display ad and the SMS each receive a significant portion of the credit, while the remaining credit is distributed among the email, social media ad, and website visit. So this attribution model can also be customized, and that is why we have something called custom attribution model. So question can be, if customer's company has a custom attribution model, then if customer's company has a custom attribution model, they might assign different weights based on their specific marketing goals or insights, giving more credit to interactions that they believe are more influential in driving conversion. So it is only basically depends on your marketing goals. Okay, next question is, how do you use predictive analytics in Adobe? Predictive analytics uses historical data and machine learning to forecast future trends. And how can we use it? By leveraging predictive models, analyzing predictions, optimizing strategies. So we can apply models to predict outcomes like customer behavior or conversion rates. We can review forecasted data to inform strategic decisions, and we can adjust marketing and operational strategies based on predictive insights. How do you implement user journey analysis in Adobe Analytics? User journey analysis involves examining the sequence of interactions a user has with your site, and we can implement it by tracking user paths, identify key touch points, optimizing experiences, and testing changes. So we can use pathing reports to track user journey. We can analyze interactions at different stages of the journey. We can use insights to improve the user experience and conversion paths, and we can experiment with changes and measure their impact on user journeys. What are the key capabilities of the Adobe Analytics API and how can it be utilized for automated reporting? The Adobe Analytics API provides programmatic access to data and functionalities within Adobe Analytics, allowing for automation and integration with other systems. So we know, we have APIs also available, and we can use them for programmatic access to repository or to reports, etc. Data retrieval: fetch data from reports, segments, and calculated metrics. So we can retrieve the data. Report automation: schedule and automate the generation of reports. Data export: export data to external system or databases for further analysis. So manual also it's possible. So we can extract reports like CSV, etc. And through automation or through program also it is doable. Integration: integrate with other tools such as CRM systems or BI platforms using API calls. How can you use segment overlap analysis to improve marketing strategies? Segment overlap analysis helps in understanding how different user segments interact and overlap. And how can we use it? It is used to identify common attributes, to optimize campaigns, and to personalize messaging. So what we can do, we can find shared characteristics between segments which can inform targeted marketing efforts. We can adjust marketing strategies based on which segment shows the highest overlap, potentially increasing ROI. And we can tailor messaging to users who fall into multiple segments for more effective communication. So for example, if we have segments for high value customers, okay, and frequent shoppers, analyzing their overlap can reveal which customers contribute the most to revenue and can help refine targeted promotions. What is the data-driven attribution model in Adobe Analytics and how does it differ from traditional models? So, data-driven attribution model. Data-driven attribution model uses statistical algorithms to assign credit to various touchpoints based on their actual contribution to conversions. Okay. Unlike traditional models, for example, first touch, last touch, that we just gone through, which assign fixed credit to specific touch points, data-driven attribution evaluates the impact of each touch point based on real data and user behavior patterns. For example, if a user interacted with multiple marketing channels before converting, the data-driven model might assign varying levels of credit to each channel based on their influence on the conversion, rather than attributing all credit to the last touch point. So it is kind of dynamic attribution. That is why it is called a data-driven attribution. And it is, I think, good option also, because we do not know, maybe we will give a higher weightage to the first touch or the last touch, right? But sometimes it matters, right? It differs, changes dynamically. So data-driven attribution model give weightage to each touch point dynamically. How does integrating Adobe Analytics with Adobe Experience Cloud enhance customer experience management? Integrating Adobe Analytics with Adobe Experience Cloud allows for a unified view of customer interactions across different touchpoints. This integration enhances customer experience management by combining data sources, personalizing interactions, and optimizing campaigns. So for example, consolidating data from various Adobe solutions, for example, Adobe Target, Adobe Campaign, for a comprehensive view of customer behavior. So it is combining that data source, right? Personalizing interactions using insights from analytics to drive personalized experience across channels, and optimizing campaigns, leveraging integrated data to refine marketing campaigns and strategies. An example would be by integrating with Adobe Target, you can use analytics data to deliver personalized content and offers based on user behavior and preferences. What are the benefits of integrating Adobe Analytics with Adobe Real-Time CDP? Integrating with Adobe Real-Time Customer Data Platform, which is CDP, provides benefits such as unified customer profiles. This is actually the main benefit, the unified customer profile, real-time data updates, and enhanced personalization. So for unified customer profile, create comprehensive profiles by combining data from Adobe Analytics and other sources. For real-time data updates, ensure customer data is up to date and reflects real-time interactions. And for enhanced personalization, use unified profiles to deliver highly personalized experiences and targeted marketing. So for example, use real-time CDP data to adjust marketing messages dynamically based on current user behavior and preferences tracked by Adobe Analytics. Okay, how can Adobe Analytics handle the challenge of tracking users who switch between multiple devices? So for example, a user is using mobile device, then desktop device, the tablets, etc., right? Device graph. Using device graph to map relationships between different devices used by the same user. User ID tracking. Employing consistent user IDs or authentication methods to track user interactions across devices. Cross-device analytics reports. Generating reports that combine data from all devices to provide a complete view of user behavior. An example is, if a user logs in on a desktop and later uses a mobile device, Adobe Analytics can merge their sessions based on the user ID to provide a unified view of their interactions. How can Adobe Analytics data be used to power personalized recommendations? Analyze user behavior. So of course we need to do personalization here. So I'll first analyze user behavior, track user interactions and preferences to understand their interest and behavior. Segment users. So first we will analyze the user behavior. Maybe there is a merchandising website and the person is looking for a jacket, right? So first understand what is the preference of that user. Then segment users. Create segments based on behavior, interests or purchase history. Feed into recommendations engine. Use segmented data to drive personalized recommendations through integration with tools like Adobe Target. An example would be use analytics data to identify users who frequently browse specific categories and provide personalized product recommendations based on their browsing history. What are some advanced statistical methods used in Adobe Analytics for data analysis? Regression analysis, identify relationships between variables and predict outcomes. Cluster analysis, group similar users or data points to identify patterns or segments. Time series analysis, analyze data over time to detect trends and seasonality. An example would be use regression analysis to understand how various factors, for example, traffic sources, campaign spend, etc., impact conversion rates. What are the advantages of storing Adobe Analytics data in a cloud-based data warehouse? Scalability, easily scaled storage and processing capacity as data volumes grow. Advanced analytics, utilized cloud based analytics tools and services for deeper analysis. So for example, the data is already stored in the warehouse. Now we have BI tools available, so we can just integrate those BI tools with your warehouse. We have HTTP APIs available, so we can do that. We can also use ETL tools to export and import that data, so we can do that analysis. Cost efficiency, benefit from pay as you go pricing model and reduced infrastructure cost. And example would be store Adobe Analytics data in Google BigQuery, for example, to leverage its powerful analytical capabilities and integrate with other cloud-based tools for enhanced insights. This is just one example, but there are other tools as well which can help in. What is a data layer and how does it enhance data collection in Adobe Analytics? A data layer is a structured data object that contains information about the user, page, or event. It enhances data collection by standardizing the data, providing a consistent format for data collection across different pages and events. Simplifying implementation, allowing for easier integration with Adobe Analytics and other marketing tools, and improving accuracy, reducing errors and inconsistencies in data collection. An example would be implemented data layer to capture user demographics, page attributes, and event information, which can be used to feed data into Adobe Analytics for more accurate tracking and reporting. So for example, we have an HTML page where we have page title, click events, etc. We'll create the data layer, and in which we will feed in all this information, the page title, the page name, etc. And that information will flow back to Adobe server, to the Adobe Analytics. How can you use Adobe Analytics to analyze user retention in mobile app? Tracking user sessions, monitor sessions and interactions to understand user engagement, defining retention metrics, calculate metrics such as day 1, 7, 30 retention rates, segmenting users, create segments based on user activity to identify patterns and trends in retention. An example is track how many users return to the app after their first visit within specific time frames, and analyze retention rates to identify areas for improving user engagement and retention. How can you customize the Adobe Analytics user interface to improve usability for different teams? So what we can do? We can create a custom dashboard, design dashboard tailored to specific team needs and objectives. We can configure report suites, set up report suites with relevant metrics and dimensions for different teams. And we know now we can put filters also for a particular report suite. We can create virtual report suite also. Personalizing views, allow users to customize their own views and reports based on their preferences. So example would be create a custom dashboard for the marketing team with KPIs relevant to their campaigns, while providing a separated dashboard for the sales team with metrics related to lead generation and conversions. How can you integrate Adobe Analytics with Google Ads for better advertising insights? So we can link account, connect Adobe Analytics and Google Ads account to synchronize the data. We can import the data, import Google Ads data into Adobe Analytics to analyze campaign performance. And we know the UTM parameter. We can use the UTM parameters, track Google Ads traffic with UTM parameters to accurately measure campaign impact. An example would be use Adobe Analytics to track conversions and user behavior resulting from Google Ads campaigns and analyze the effectiveness of different ad strategies. Again, we have a best practice question. What are some best practices for managing data privacy and compliance with CCPA in Adobe Analytics? So this is actually for GDPR as well. This is applicable. So use user opt-out option. So we can provide a consent management option, and where we can ask user to opt in, opt out for various type of cookies, etc. or consent. Yeah, provide users with option to opt out of data collection and tracking. So that we can do data deletion request, implement processes for handling data deletion request from users. So for example, there is a newsletter form or sign up form, right, and user is creating account, and based on various regulations, maybe tomorrow user wants to come back to the website and wants to delete all the records available in the system. So that option is called data deletion request. Transparency, clearly inform users about data collection. Nowadays we have that privacy policy that detailed what information we are collecting, how we are going to share this information with other third-party systems, etc. We clearly describe everything, right? So transparency, clearly inform users about data collection practices and their rights under CCPA. An example would be implement a user interface for opting out of data collection and ensure that Adobe Analytics configurations support handling data deletion request in compliance with CCPA. Okay, what are the effective strategies for training new users on Adobe Analytics? Structured training programs, develop comprehensive training programs with modules covering basic to advanced features. Hands-on workshops, conduct hands-on workshops for a practical experience with Adobe Analytics. Online resources, provide access to online resources, tutorials and documentation. And of course the Tech Talk with Ritesh channel. I am always here to help. So if you have any question, you can put in the comment section. An example would be create a series of training sessions that cover core features, report creation, and advanced analysis techniques, complemented by online tutorials and user guides. How can you use Adobe Launch for efficient tag management across multiple websites? We can create shared libraries, develop shared libraries of tags and rules that can be applied across multiple websites. Centralized management, manage and deploy tags from a single launch instance for all websites. Consistent implementations, ensure consistent tag implementations and configurations across different sites. An example would be set up a shared library that I already discussed in Adobe Launch that includes common tracking tags, rules, and the library. How can custom event tracking be used to measure the effectiveness of marketing campaign? Tracking campaign interactions, set up custom events to track interactions related to marketing campaigns such as click events on campaign specific links, right? Analyzing event data, analyze the data collected from custom events to evaluate campaign performance and user engagement. And adjusting strategies, finally, use insights from event data to optimize and adjust marketing strategies for better results. What are some techniques for visualizing historical data in Adobe Analytics? Time series chart. Use time series charts to display data trends over time. Heat maps. Apply heat maps to visualize variations in data across different time period or segments. Historical comparison reports. Create reports comparing historical data with current performance metrics. And that's it. Thank you for joining the session. I hope you found the information insightful and valuable. If you enjoyed the content and want to stay updated with more tutorials and tips like this, please like the video, subscribe the channel. Your support helps me continue creating useful content. Thanks again, and I look forward to seeing you in the next session.